Hi kids, let me be clear from the start. This title and that thumbnail, all this ain't a clickbait. Some lizards and some reptiles do have the capabilities to control time. They can actually speed up and slow down time at their will. And stick around because we'll get to that. But, before we do that, we need to put down some concepts so our monkey brains can understand what's actually happening with those pesky scaly critters.
Give me your secrets!
So come with me on this brief knowledge journey. And our first stop is... Remember when you were a little kid, going out and about with your mom or dad, buying groceries and maybe a candy if you were a good boy. Life was good, wasn't it? But suddenly, from around the corner, here comes friendly neighbor Susan, striking up a conversation with your mom concerning the absolute nothing for about 18 hours. You heroically try to tug your mom's hand, but the force of a kid is nothing compared to the strength of a time-sucking black hole that is Susan's mouth. But then, after 3 generations, the chit-chat stops. You look at your watch and realize that in fact only 5 minutes have passed. And that's what we call psychological time perception. And we have all experienced it in one way or another. It's subjective and changes in relation to various factors, such as stress or boredom. Sadly, science doesn't really care for subjectivity. So we go from psychologic to metabolic, which is how time is perceived under normal average circumstances. And this is our very human temporal resolution. That's right, you thought only TVs and monitors use resolutions? F*** off watching Friends in Full HD, I wanna see time in 8K, said Steve, the common housefly, to God during the creation festival at the pub. And God said, okay. So from then on, Steve will see the world in an eternal slow motion. That's why flies are f***ing impossible to capture with chopsticks. Daniel Sen, you fraud. The thing is that we know that Steve wasn't the only animal attending the festival. In fact, all creatures have different time perceptions. Some see in slow-mo, many others see things bolting by. And some others can actually decide how to perceive time. But we can't really ask animals how do they perceive things. So Maya, could you please describe how you see the world through your very own eyes? Amazing! So you might be wondering, how do we know the time resolutions of different animals? Well, lucky for us, one thing that science really loves are units of measurement. Everything has one. Wanna use something less fancy than horsepower? Use donkey power. So temporal resolution is not an exception. Enter critical flicker fusion frequency, or CFF for the friends. And oh boy, let me tell you what this bad boy is. Since we talked about TVs and monitors, let's continue on that note. Because other than pixel resolution, they also have a refresh rate, which expresses how many times every second the screen is capable of putting a new image up. The higher the refresh rate, the smoother the thing you're watching. Well, turns out that our brain and eyes also have a refresh rate, and this is, in very loose terms, is what we call CFF. To set a baseline, ours is around 55. And every animal has a different one. And to put it very simply, a lower CFF means they see things faster, and a higher CFF means they see things slower. Got it? Swag. For example, dogs have a CFF of 80, which again means they see things at a slower rate, which makes it much more impressive when they manage to do stuff like this. Amusing. But again, how did we manage to measure this? Hey Oliver, wait, what the f***? Where is your face? Oh, don't worry, Luca just needs to advertise his stupid pet. Hey kids! Wanna have your friend's face in my next video? Well, now you can do that. Head on to my Patreon to check it out. Anyways, let's give you this face for now. Come on, let's get on with the video. Chop chop. Oh well. Hey Oliver, I was thinking about this CFF business. Would it be interesting if we could measure it in animals? Well, Roger, lucky for you we have this state-of-the-art portable electroretinogram that measures just that. Oh wow, why don't we just go around sticking this thing into various animal f***ing eyes and call it a day? Distressing clueless sentient being for the sake of a debatable understanding of their frankly useless but mildly interesting world perception? Count me in, bozo. Maya? Come here.
Come here, it's for science!
So that's what I did. And with this sci-fi camera and through behavioral observation where they couldn't use it, scientists were able to acquire the approximate CFF for more than 70 species across more than 30 orders. And thanks to these insightful discoveries, we can now answer the age-old question of many people argue that we as humans have drifted apart from our animal cousins and have lost our link to Mother Nature. I respectfully disagree. It's not hard to see the similarities between a crackhead eating a squirrel and a squirrel eating a cracker, or these highly functional beings and a deer standing in the middle of the highway. Our drugs. Where would we be without you guys? Oh wow, this is so incredibly nice. Well, time to restore my link up with nature. Anyways, let's finally explore how some animals see the world and how lizards control time. As I said before, dogs have a CFF of 80, so they experience the world at about a 33% lower rate than us. So if you're having a bad day, just know that those moments of pure bliss that dogs have, for them, are even longer. Cats on the other hand, being the godly assholes that they are, want their time with the smelly, hairless apes to be over as soon as possible. So they have a CFF of 50, which means their world is 9% faster than ours. But to be fair to them, this makes their 3 AM athletic stunts much more impressive. As for squirrels, we finally have a partial answer on why they always seem like they are on crack. With an impressive CFF of 120, they see the world 50% slower than us. So their fast twitchy movements to them are just, well, normal movements. Still doesn't explain why they are willing to fight for dear life against giant smart apes for a cracker. And win. Now birds are on a different level. They generally always have a higher CFF, ranging from the slightly impressive 105 of ducks and geese, which to me only means that Canadian geese only use this extra time perception to savor every single moment of pure terror they instill in every living thing in a 50-mile radius, to the astounding 145 CFF of songbirds. And here things get really interesting, because temporal resolution might also mean that sounds different to them. So you know how wild birds always look madly concerned to, holy shit, what the fuck was that? Am I gonna die? Are you gonna kill me? Well, just listen to how their pretty song sounds to them. Jesus Christ, I couldn't go around in a world that sounds like that, because my pants will constantly be soiled. Quick side note, these video clips were from the handsomely necked Benn Jordan's channel, from a video that explores how the world sounds to animal related to their time perception, and you should just go watch it for the sheer amount of quality and effort that he puts into his videos. Oh wow, sending your audience to another channel, that's a good growth strategy. How about you shut the fuck up and keep animating, if you can even call this an animation. Okay, master. I'm sorry, master. Flies? Don't even want to talk about it. Them bastards are just cheating with their 270 CFF and 350 slower temporal resolution. You thought they were just annoying you? Well, to me they are just mocking us. But I already hear you. But Luca, you promised time controlling wizards. Why the hell are we still talking about feces slurping flies? No worries, my understandably impatient bitches. We had to talk about other animals, because, well... So you remember when I said that all this is about metabolic time perception? Well, the thing about metabolism is that it's for the most part fixed. Yeah, it changes slightly over time. Hell, I remember as a kid I could gurgle down kilos of junk food and still have the body type of a hairy stick. And now, I eat as much as an extra bean and my belly pops up. But in the grand scheme of things, these are slight variations. And you know who don't give a fuck about the grand scheme of things? Cold-blooded reptiles. And I don't say cold-blooded as an insult here, it's actually the whole reason they have time-controlling abilities. For those of you that might not know, unlike us, reptiles cannot regulate their body temperature internally, that's why they are called cold-blooded. They instead rely on external sources of warmth to get heat, such as human affection, and shade or water to cool down. And it's been observed that when they chill out in the sun, their metabolism slows down significantly. As a consequence, they see things moving faster, but when they cool off, metabolism goes up, and they see things moving slower. This might be useful both ways. For example, in aquatic reptiles, having slow-mo while hunting is an obvious benefit. But even seeing things faster while chilling might be useful for seeing patterns, such as, I don't know, a storm is coming and it's gonna rain, or escaping boredom faster. Oh my god, this is so boring! This has been observed with rock-hard evidence such as this alligator that could not be bothered crossing the road, or this lizard man trying to protect himself from the hot sun to keep his time perception up. Now, of course, this ain't literally controlling time, but it's as close as we're ever gonna get in the animal kingdom, which is enough for me. Also, I have to tell you that all this temporal perception stuff is still theoretical and debated by scientists, but since I'm not a scientist, I chose not to care. So, moral of the story, kids, in a world when everyone thinks they're either a lion or a sheep, dare to be the humble fly and annoy the living shit out of your enemies. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, so I can finally myself turn into no. So I will forever... No, okay, listen, I'm out of jokes. Just subscribe and put a like if you want. It makes me happy, and that should be plenty enough for you. Anyways, that's all for today. I'm your host Luca, this was Cool Air Academy, and thanks for watching.